Hello again, everybody. I'm Dean O'Neill.
I'm Nick Robinson.
Yeah, I'm a speaker.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Going pretty well.
We're just Acts is very interesting, and it's like I'm gonna miss it when it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're in like a travel log series where it's like we went here and did this, and then we went here and did this, and then we went here and did this, and it's like it's kind of like, have you ever been on a long vacation and you're seeing all these sites and they start just kind of blending in together? Like I have that kind of feeling in Acts. If you've ever traveled to Europe and you've seen cathedrals, eventually you're just like, I feel like all the cathedrals look the same. They're obviously not the same, but if you've seen 10, you've seen 5, you start thinking, okay, maybe it's time for a change.
Yeah. It's like those. I went in high school. I went to Europe in high school, and the only reason why I wanted to go is to see Jim Morrison's grave. But we had to do like 20 things before we got to Paris. Yeah. And it's like it's all blends together. You're correct.
Yeah. And so that's the season that we are in here in Acts. And as they travel around, God is a part of all of this. It's not a vacation. It's clearly not a vacation. They're getting beaten. They're being arrested. They're preaching the good news. Definitely not a vacation. And there's doors that are being opened to them and doors that are being closed to them. They're trying to go here, and the Spirit says, no, you can't go there. And they get these visions. Hey, it's time to go over here. So all of this travel is intimately connected to God, to God's will, to God's plan, to God's direction through everything that they're doing. One of the parts of this travelogue, too, and part of this coming and going, is that there are people who are coming and going and joining this group. So here in the opening sections of Acts chapter 16, there's a guy that they start talking about named Timothy.
Yep.
Timothy is the subject of a couple other books in the New Testament. And here we kind of find when and why he was added to this group of people. Timothy is probably a younger disciple, someone newer to the faith. We see some actions taken here that look kind of unpleasant, but are part of him being able to be included in this group and be effective in his ministry. Now, Will, as you look at this, what kind of seals the deal for Timothy being involved in this?
Well, really, it starts off by his own family, his brothers and sisters, speaking pretty highly of him and kind of expressing how good of a follower or disciple that Timothy could make.
And it's like Evan and Cody saying, hey, this Will guy, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's true. Like if they would say, go to and see what Asbury's about because we know somebody that's there that does a good job. So it's a connections that spur Paul on to kind of add Timothy in.
Yeah, and you see this at work in local churches in the United Methodist system. I'm sure in other places too. I'm just familiar with the United Methodist version. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that you're working on right now and that I bug you about constantly is your candidacy status.
Yes.
Yeah, so in the United Methodist Church, so Will wants to be an ordained pastor one day, and one of the steps in that is it's called candidacy. It's saying, hey, I think I might be called to this. And it starts in your local church and them saying, hey, I think you might be called to this too. Mm-hmm. And in our local churches, we have an HR committee kind of thing called the Staff Parish Relations Committee, and they meet and they recommend you for ministry, and then the charge conference recommends you for ministry. And when you're coming out of a church, especially like White Creek, your family might be on some of those boards. Like these are the people who have grown up with or have seen you grown up, maybe have grown up with you, maybe not. Mm-hmm. They've seen your faith in action for years, and they're saying, this guy might have something. This girl might have, this person has something to offer God. And here we see that his family, the people around him are saying, you want Timothy in your corner.
Yeah. You want someone, it's kind of a conference of like God is moving in certain ways in this person's life. And maybe like we talked about maybe a couple days ago or a week ago about having a call, and sometimes people put their hands on us, laying of hands, and sometimes that hands is a little bit of a push. And I think in this moment, we see the push from Timothy's family to do so.
You have to get out there and help. So this has me thinking about what role does personal recommendations have in the spread and the work of a movement? So there's Paul's in town doing this work, led by the Spirit. Some other people show up and say, hey, Timothy is a great guy. How does that work out in modern day life with the movement, with the church, outside of this idea of a specific call to ministry?
I think I think we use it more than we think from time to time. I think that a person that of great power, I guess, or a CEO or somebody like that of a company, they always have their vice presidents.
Oh yeah,
they always have their people that are their second in command or whatever, their lieutenant or whatever you want to call it. So that's where I think that comes from. It sounds like to me. I mean, you got to have somebody. They got to have good people around them for things to work.
Yeah, and Dean, you and I are working on a special project right now that we're hoping will come together for us, and it's all about connections. It's all about you have this connection that you've had for decades at this point.
Yes,
and now with a word of recommendation and using those relationships, it might open up a door for us to do ministry.
Correct. I mean, and that's again, we started this conversation. We're talking about the conversation. We started it from an idea.
Yeah.
And the first idea possibly didn't work all that good, so we're going to a next idea. But it takes collaboration. I think that's the main word here is collaboration. It takes collaboration to get it done. I have the talent, and the talent is you. I've just got to make the talent. Get the talent out there. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying in this situation, you're a little bit of Timothy's siblings, and Nick you're pushing Timothy out.
Correct. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and you can see it happen in communities too. So people sometimes are looking for a church. People are looking for somewhere to go, and if you start talking, hey, this is a church where something's happening, or this is a church where they practice what they preach. This is a church that loves their neighbor. This is a church that is mission minded and focused. This is a church that I can recommend to you because I see the Spirit at work within it. That word of mouth recommendation is everything.
It's huge. It really starts as we see in this section, and it's a small section for this chapter, but we see. It strengthens the faith, and everyday numbers are flourished at the end of this section that it's talking about Paul and Timothy getting together. And so when we have this word of mouth and we have this really encouraging tying things together between people that support us and people that support the movement that's going on within the church, it's picked up quick.
Well, and think about people of my generation. I don't know about younger or older, but before you do anything, you go online and you check the reviews. Even Google now prioritizes Reddit answers in their search results. Real witnesses from real people matter, and they matter so much that people are figuring out ways to game Google reviews and Yelp reviews and Reddit channels to try to move you all in a certain direction.
Yeah. I mean, I had my carpet cleaner come yesterday evening, and he sent me a text so that I could go to his page on Google and give him a review. Yep.
Right. Yeah. Please leave me that review if you don't mind. It helps me out and stuff. Think about this, though. The social media in Timothy's time, was basically word of mouth. Yeah. And that was it. And the word of mouth is big time in the whole world.
Well, and I still trust word of mouth over anything else. If someone I really know actually says this is a good place to go, I'm going to trust that over Google reviews.
Yeah. And to that point, if we're talking about, you said you go look at reviews or you look at something and we talked about how sometimes Reddit is pushed more. I tend to I don't try to go and look at anything that might be an influencer-based recommendation.
Yes, absolutely. Because the influencer has been influenced by money. Yes.
Yeah, and so I go to Reddit that has stories of people using stuff every day.
Stories and quotes. It may not be as accurate as you think either.
And what's funny is Reddit has been around for a while, but it's just starting to get popular because of word of mouth.
well, and they're trying to make more money off of it. They're trying to monetize more of this platform. Knowledge base that they've stolen, accrued from other people.
Right.
And And so all of this is to say, well, okay, I want to ask one more question. Are you more likely to give a positive review or a negative review?
I think it's 50-50 sometimes. But I think I'm more likely to get a positive review. Now, it might take me longer to get to doing that review if I'm more upset and want to do.
He's got a good point.
I'm
He's got a
quicker
really
to
good point.
I'm quicker to give that negative review and have my thoughts cast out there. But if it's a positive point of view, it sometimes takes me a little bit longer to get to where I can share that. So I don't know. Maybe it's more skeptical, and I want to see if it's a place that I want to go again before I spout off. But it might be emotions mixed in too.
And that's the emotion. When emotion is involved, the reviews are different. I mean, like you said, I mean, if you had a good review for somebody, they've made life easy for you, and life is easier after. So you say, "Wow, that was great," but you didn't really go and do the review. But if they're bad, then you're getting all mad, and I get what you're saying.
Well, I think sometimes with like a good experience, you may not trust it. Like, I need to go 2 or 3 more times to see if they're always good, if they're always on point. Where with a bad review, you're just like, oh, this was awful. I need to let the world know. I need to get back at them for what they have done. Because there's, in Columbus, I've had the impulse to write several bad reviews, but I also think it's a bad look for the pastor of a church to be out there roasting businesses online. So I've not left any reviews.
Well, at Turnabout's fair play too. If people have said there have been times in Facebook you were saying that.
People
what's
say
going on?
Interesting things about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultra critical.
Yes, and that I applaud you for not taking the bait.
Oh, well.
So
there's no sense in arguing online. So here we come to, in-person reviews. We're word of mouth. We're building people up. How can we be better about recommending people in a positive way? Let's move beyond businesses now and references to like, oh, go eat at, insert your favorite restaurant here. Right. But like, how can we support each other in encouraging? I guess it's encouraging, but also this empowering people to actually live out their call.
Well, I mean, give grace. That's one thing I think of. Like open yourself up to give grace to that person, even if you think that it's a different way that you might have approached this situation or might have done something differently, but see the whole person and what they offer, not just little instances, to then support them better. Sure.
And that makes real sense. And I'll even bring something up that involves you, Will. When I first got here, that's when you I think I saw you do your first sermon. And so I tried to support you that day as good as I could, as far as the iPad and stuff, what I knew and what I could do. And that's just something, and you got better and better at it. So I think that support like that helps.
Yeah, so supporting each other, recognize that call, using your call to support their call.
Right.
Yeah, and I think even just speaking up, to be encouraging, to recommend, hey, this person is really good at this, or this person is frustrated because they have this gift that they're not being able to use. And so to try to connect people to using their gifts as often as possible. Because I think when we have gifts and we use them, we end up finding joy and we grow. And so we don't want to leave these gifts sidelined.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you recognize some gifts in yourself, or maybe you're thinking of somebody right now that you know who has gifts. How are you going to encourage them to take the next step? How are you going to spread the good word about the good work that they are doing so other people can see it and appreciate it too? Let's close in prayer. God, we give you thanks for the gifts that we have and that we are surrounded by so many gifted people. Let us not take that for granted, but encourage one another in the ways that we serve, the places that we serve, and to recommend others to others so that they can put their gifts to work and be part of your movement. We always need more people, as your scriptures say. The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. So God, give us more laborers. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
For Nick Robinson, I'm Dean O'Neill. And I'm sorry, I forgot about Will Speaker there. You've been on the Daily Path.